two blue lines sprung up from the ground, and then they're about 5 foot wide going to a point. And he said they were electric stroke metallic blue colour, these lines. And the middle of the lines just filled in with a blue textured colour that he said resembled Amorite paint. So this man, Daz, a total skeptic, has witnessed something that's, well, it's a new one for us on the cliff tops. We've not heard of this before or anything quite like this. Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm here tonight up on the cliff tops again. There's a group of us. There's myself, Ian, Jeremy and Jack. And I've just broke away for a few minutes because I just want to talk about two things that have happened over the last 2 weeks. Things that have happened to other people that have been up here. And we've not experienced it, but they have. And it's interesting, isn't it, that the people that it's happened to happen to be non-believers, total skeptics when it comes to the subject of the unexplained and all the associated phenomena. And I don't know what you'd call these events, really. Very strange. I mean, the first one took place approximately 2 weeks ago. I'll put the date up on screen. And a lady, well, Wendy came to the area with her husband because it was her birthday. She wanted to come to Bempton, Speeton and Flamborough and just absorb the atmosphere. And she does have an interest in unexplained phenomena. But she's keen to stress, and her husband is. He's sceptical, he doesn't really believe in any of this, he's never experienced anything. So he just came to obviously to please his wife. It were her birthday, and that's what he did. And spent the night up on the cliff tops with us, while just observing the sky, setting cameras up, hoping we might catch a glimpse of something strange, something unusual. Nothing happened. Nothing to see. So we packed up, probably about 11 o'clock, and this lady's husband, Steve, hadn't really dressed for the occasion. He dressed in warm clothing, but on a night up here it gets very cold. So he just stayed in a hollowed out bit of the field, out of the wind that's coming off the North Sea. Kept well out of the way, and we all set off back. They're slightly behind us. I don't know, must have walked for approximately 100 yards. And I turned round to check that they were okay. And they'd got a torch, not a powerful torch, just a little torch. And he said, yeah, I'm just waiting for these. And he looked round and there's nobody there. We all stopped. This guy's shocked, because he claims that in his peripheral vision as he's walking, he can see legs, the dark shadow of legs walking at the side of him. He assumed it was one of us. There was about 6 or 7 people up there that night. Obviously it wasn't, we were all in front. So it shook him up. And I'm not saying it's changed his belief system, but it's made him realise, because he's quite adamant about what he saw. And he can't deny that. So that was interesting. They came back up on the Friday. So this was a Wednesday when this happened. They came back up on the Friday. And obviously I was hoping I would get to speak to him. I was hoping even if he'd just let me record just audio of what he saw, what he experienced. But he wasn't willing to do it. And it had clearly rattled him. So now we'll concentrate on Friday's strange occurrence. And once again, Friday turned out to be just as strange, but not for us. Unbelievably, for somebody who's skeptic and doesn't really believe in any of this. Now, over the years I've been contacted by many fishermen, trawlermen, rock anglers, people from all walks of life as well. And one particular guy, Chris, goes beach fishing, goes rock angling, came up to Speeton for a walk with his friend Daz. And obviously he'd come because he's interested in the lights. And we've all talked about the light forms, these spheres of light that appear out over the sea, appear inland, just above the hill, just below the hill, you name it, these lights have appeared. And he's interested in them because he knows, like we know, there's something very unnatural about what's exhibiting and what's presenting out at sea and on land. So his best friend Darren went to Speeton with him, and they got to the highest point where the trig point is, 420 feet, and they stayed there and observed. Bearing in mind, we're at the other end, we're at Bempton on one of the platforms, and we're with Wendy and her husband and the team who'll come up with me. Obviously we don't know they're there. Now on the way back, once again, bearing in mind Steve has had his experience with these shadow type legs that he's seen on the Wednesday, we're walking back. We stop a few times on the way back because Peter, one of the team, has recently had an heart operation and he's just recovering, he's just getting back to fitness, so we stop 2 or 3 times along the way. Well, as we're walking back, in the very far distance we can see a torchlight way over towards Speeton, and as we're walking that way, they're coming this way. We're all heading for the same destination, the car park. And we stop at the bottom of the path, ready to go back up to the car park, and these guys have caught us up. And I can hear them talking, and I can hear this guy who I don't know, I knew Chris, saying, I can't believe it, I can't believe what I'm saying, I can't believe what I've seen. So obviously my curiosity is piqued, and I walk down to them and ask them what they've seen, or what they think they've seen. Well, it turns out that Chris is looking out to sea. Darren's looking inland down towards the old RAF base. He's on a part of the cliff tops where you would turn off if you wanted to go down towards the village of Buckton. It's called Hoddy Cow's Lane. And he's there, and they're just observing while Chris is looking out to sea. And he claims that from nowhere, looking, imagine the sea's there, he's looking inland, literally from nowhere, 2 blue lines sprung up from the ground, and they're about 5 foot wide going to a point. And he said they were electric stroke metallic blue colour, these lines, and the middle of the lines just filled in with a blue textured colour that he said resembled Amorite paint, just sparkling. I think we all know what he means by that. Didn't have time to say anything to his mate. They literally switched off and then came back again. So this man, Daz, a total skeptic, has witnessed something that's, well, it's a new one for us on the cliff tops. We've not heard of this before or anything quite like this. He's adamant about what he saw. That was the Friday. He went back up on the Saturday, travelled from Hull, went back up. And he's back up here tonight, and it's Friday night 2 weeks later. And he's back up here with Chris. And I believe that they're up near Speeton. Now, if, and it's a big if they come down this way before we head home, I'm going to see if I can get him to retell the story. So I know you guys have just heard it from me, and that might be all you're going to get. But if he does come down and we do meet up, I'm going to ask him if he'll retell the story, even if we only get his audio and his fingers kind of gesturing where this phenomena, because make no mistake about it, that's what it is, where this phenomena punched out of the ground and went into the air, did it 2 times. So how diverse can you get with the unexplained phenomena? We've got UFOs out at sea, or UAP, call them what you like. We've got lights punching out of the ground. We've got almost ghostly apparition type things appearing where people are seeing them. What's creating the phenomena? Is there one source that's creating it, or is it many, many things that are all taking advantage of what is a thin area in the United Kingdom, allowing these things to manifest and break through? It's hard to know for sure. So I will end that now, and for the last transmission, please press the like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys later.